there. Lower that, and off we go again. And while this will plough the weeds into the ground, they are not considered destroyed, so they will be back very quickly. Another patch of where we lost crop last year, and that's either failure to germinate, which means it didn't even start growing, or it's destroyed due to lack of rain last year. So seasons, I enjoy playing with seasons because it makes the game not as rushed. I always feel playing basic farming simulator rules that you're really the whole aim is to make the money, and to make the money you have to have something growing. So as soon as you've harvested, you want to get something back in the ground immediately. Let's set on reverse. Engage the thing, lower the thing, and off we go again. So I did this accidentally on my private playthrough on Lawfolds, where I got to the point where, looking at the planting map, everything's in the green. Yay, I can plant my crops. What I didn't look at is the ground temps. So I planted all of my crops, waited 4 days, and nothing happened. Sort of, what the heck? And then I went and looked back at that particular screen and sort of, oh, the ground's too cold. Well, I didn't notice that. And yet, as soon as the ground got warm enough, all of the field started growing. No germination loss. So I'm fairly certain I am safe planting now. So that is what we're doing. So we're already 70% of the way through the seed tank. Fertilizer, not so much. Missed a tiny little bit there, but I'm not. We'll probably get that when we do the headlands anyway. So basically, once I've done the middle, we'll go back around and do the edge where I haven't planted anything. Go and get the Land Rover shortly and set him up with the stuff. We'll bring the stuff down. Seeds, and I've got seeds and fertilizer on the trailer on the Land Rover. Trailer's probably a little bit big for the Land Rover, but it works, so we're good. Oops. I normally go shopping with the Fendt because that can handle the trailer quite nicely. Drop that. Can't see a thing in the trees. And we are back planting again. So I don't do corn on this map, and I don't do soybeans. And the main reason for that is planting temps on those 10 degrees. You can't do cotton, and you can't do sugarcane for obvious reasons, but you know, the time you get 10 degrees, you're right up against the beginning of summer, and then harvesting at this point is high risk because there's a lot of rain. You can't harvest when the crops are wet, so we're just not even going to try. Plus the only thing I'd really use corn for is forage, and we don't have cows, so it's not really like we really need to produce a lot of silage anyway. I produce silage purely for the fertilizer that it creates at the BGA. Okay, that's better. Line that up again, drop it, and off we go. Of course, the other reason for using GPS is we're getting the most efficient use out of our seeds and fertilizer. Adding precision farming, we get an efficient use of our fertilizer regardless. And pretty much for the seeds as well, because a planter will not plant where the ground isn't prepared properly. And if there's already seed in the ground, it just won't plant more seed. Something like our cedar, which you don't need to cultivate first, you can just plant it straight on stubble fields. That will overplant, basically destroy what's in the ground and lay down more seed. Which does mean if I realised at this point, oh, I'm planting soybeans, whoops, I would have to cultivate this field in order to destroy the soybean crop and then go over it again. But with the cedar, you can make that mistake and just say, oh, I'll just go back and plant something different. I'll do that. I'll lower that. Forwards a bit, and I am going to stick that on a worker right now. Right now, worker go. Why doesn't worker want to do working? Okay, well, I guess we're doing it myself. Oh, there we go. Worker's going. Strange. Let's go find the Land Rover. Right-wheel drive mod that has been available on the mod hub for a long time now. So I usually play this Land Rover on most of my playthroughs, although there are two newer mods, not newer Land Rovers. New mods of old Land Rovers. One is the two-door pickup, and the other is the two-door covered. This one does have a cover on the back, but I leave that off because I can put stuff in the back of the Land Rover if I'm not moving too much of it. The other two, I think I've got them loaded. No. that's the one I'm using. So it's actually by the same, no, this is the other one. So this is the covered one. And then there's a pickup version of that one as well. Standard spare front wheel, spare wheel on the back, gas can on the back, and wheel on the back. So, and it's 56. The one I'm using is this one, which is cheaper, but it's been around for a long time, longer time. Also comes with GPS, yes or no. Pretty much you can pick the colours and that's all. Anyway, back to the planting tractor. Oh, it's on a worker and the worker's got a little bit too far over on the GPS. It's a bit annoying. So we turn the worker off. And we will gauge the GPS, lower the thing, and okay, let's try that again with the seeder turned on. That's always a good plan. Okay, seeder is on and lowered, go. So there's a little strip there, we will probably do that. Cheat there. If I turn the steering wheel, it'll auto disengage the GPS, so I don't have to keep reaching for the keyboard. Anyway, keyboard's on. Now this will use a lot less seed because we're only planting that tiny little strip on the right. Then, and we do have the top part of the field to do as well, so that's done. Again, realistically I probably shouldn't be going all the way up to the edge of the field. Probably shouldn't be turning around by reversing on the field. But then you have OCD farmer needs to plant in every square inch of the field that you can. Sunflowers is a good yield. I think we had sunflowers on this field last year. Which 20 acres, and we're putting, oh, what's that, 16 plus 13, almost there, that's 30 acres. So that income we just made, what was it, 40 plus 70, so we made about 100,000, over 100,000 on sunflowers from last year. Next year we will make about 150 if the prices hold, which I have no expectation of them not holding. Sugar beets we sold. I want to check what price the sugar beets we sold. I think we probably made over 250,000 from sugar beets last year. Prices, Sugar beets, we sold them around here, so 250, and we had a million. Yeah, so we had over 250,000 in sugar beet sales last year. Income on farm sim is really based on how much work you have to put into a crop. So things like sunflowers per acre isn't very good because they're a low yield crop that's very valuable, and so the income per acre is actually lower than sugar beets, which is a high density crop per acre. So if you want to make a ton of money, go potatoes, sugar cane, sugar beets, because that will earn you the most money per acre. The sad part is it's going to take you hours to harvest, hours to ship to the store. It probably took me about 4 hours all told to ship 1 million litres of sugar beets to the store without buying or getting a mod semi-trailer that can carry 250,000 litres at a time. It probably would have taken me less time if I could have found one of those, and there are some out there, although not on the mod hub. You have to go searching, and some of the sites you find those sorts of things on aren't necessarily reliable when it comes to what you're getting when you download from them. Not all of them, but some of them, so I tend to just avoid all of them just to be safe. But we can mix up what crops we put down where, and it gives us a reasonable income. So long as I'm growing some cereals, barley and wheat and oats tend to be a fairly good value per acre. Canola, whoops, what happened there? Oh, the sunflowers ran out. Oh, we'll just lift that up and drive back to the Land Rover. I could bring the Land Rover over here, but frankly it's probably just as quick for me to drive up alongside. Although the seed is on the outside. Although it's also at the back, so hopefully we can fill up with seed without messing with the fertilizer. Yes. Okay. Pull the tractor out the way, and I will turn this Land Rover around so the seed is more convenient for loading. There we go. We'll run over to the middle and finish off a bit on the north side. So we've probably got a little under halfway of the field done on that load of seed. Again, missed a tiny little bit there. Am I worried about it? I don't think so, not so much. That'll be down, that'll be up. Okay. A bit where the seed ran out. We are going to Well, maybe not. I'm not sure how good my estimation is, but oops, no, stop. Oh, turn the wheel, turn off GPS. Now I can go backwards. This little particular tractor mod I've been using since FS19 on my long-term Lawfold series. It's by the same guy, and it was released before Class was in the game. So we've kept that going. I have occasionally been tempted to switch to an in-game 940, but I'll stick with this one. We've had it a long time. And the guy who makes these, when he heard that Class were coming into the game, he was like, "Oh, I guess I won't be making any more classes for Farm Sim, because my work here is done," type of thing. So the old Fent we were using earlier, that's one of his. And he went into basically 1990s Fent tractors, but then more recently he's got back into Class series. He bought out the Class Zerion 3000, and he is currently working on a 4000 and 5000 model that are from the early 2000s, because with Giants there are some older tractors like the Fiat. I think in the past we have had old New Hollands which could be rebadged as Fords, and some modders did. But if you look in the store, that's an old tractor, that's an old tractor, and everything else is new. That's an old tractor. So you're really looking at sort of most of the equipment in the game is 2018 or newer. And so there is an opening for mods to produce older equipment. So this is, I don't know, possibly a 2012 model. And it coming into 2021, maybe you want to consider updating it. But the argument could be made that, well, it's a newer tractor, it has GPS, it does the job I need it to do. The Fendt is probably the prime candidate for replacing with something newer, because that's a 1990s model or early 2000s model, and probably getting less reliable from a real world perspective. I kind of really want another mid-sized tractor, possibly 220 to 250 range, just so I don't have to use this or the Challenger to haul grain up to hilltop stores when the truck's not available, or when you've got 2 million litres of sugar beets to move, and so you're using all the equipment. Forwards. There we go. Back up there, drop that down, and off we go again. So how's our seed tied? doing? We're down to 75% load. Now the other thing, this seed load is only 750 litres, so that's less than a full pallet of seeds. This is the bigger of the two fields. That one over there is 13, this one's about 16. Carry the fractions. So that one will use less seed than this field. And we have, I think we've only put half a pallet from the back of that trailer so far on this, or to top this off. So half a pallet, and then we've got a little bit left. I think we've got one bag on the other pallet. And then we've still got a full pallet of seeds, and yeah, we're not going to be using any more seed until fall, when it's time to put in the oilseed radish. Basically, because I'm planting this all the way to the edge, I probably only have to do the edges freehand. Don't have to do the ends. So let's do cruise control on and pull up the coverage map. So this is just 2 stages of fertilizer. We will have to come back here and do another stage of fertilizer. I didn't put down any digestate this year, and I think because of the the precision farming, I'm going to try and save up as much digestate as I can next year, because that usage might drop off because there's no fine scale control of application. Plus we also do oilseed radish as well. It's going to be interesting to play with the precision farming with the way we do farming on this map. And obviously lime is lime, it is what it is. But getting into fertilizing, we tend to put down oilseed radish, so I'm going to need to know how much that adds to a field, and also we tend to put down digestate, and I'm going to need to know how much effect that has on a field, because the fine control comes from using either a spray or a solid fertilizer, but you could get that very close to 0 per harvest using digestate, slurry, manure and oilseed radish. I assume the natural applications are a constant. Yeah, if you apply this, it's 0.25 adjustment upwards of nitrogen. And if it is that easy to control, then we may be in a situation where we're only using 2 applications of fertilizer, and it's either oilseed radish or it's digestate.